Welcome to Good Morning at DRC TV. We are so excited to be able to just really bring you information as we go along. As I mentioned to you yesterday, we obviously away from our studio. And this is the reason why you can see obviously the changes in our background and everything. Just really wanted to give you a little bit of the information that is currently taking place in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I believe that as many of you are watching this program, many of you are wanting to know what is the situation, what is the development. That is on many fronts because we know that we are currently in the election process, and we know we've only got a couple of weeks left in order for the campaign to come to an end. But in the midst of what is happening there, I just wanted to brief you a little bit on what is happening in the eastern part of Congo, where we do know that there is actually if you like, war that is still going on in the eastern part of Congo, where we have the M23, which is actually a rebel group that is being supported by Rwanda, that is actually attacking, if you like, the DRC. And obviously, this has been going on for the last 2 years, but the actual, if you like, threats that comes from that part of the DRC has been going on for years and years, more than 2 decades of this situation. Every now and then, there will come a time where there is some kind of an agreement for ceasefire in which the Rwanda government will seek to infiltrate the DRC by injecting soldiers and different military personnel or force in different spheres of the government in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this has been the mode of operandi throughout the years. But what we have seen recently is that since the emergence of the current president, it has not happened because the current president said no, he will not negotiate with the M23, and he will not get into any agreement or power sharing or talks which will lead again to more infiltration. So he said no to it. So this we understand is actually the current situation. And obviously, given that stance that the president has taken, that has sent Kagame over the walls, and he is actually not happy with the situation or these arrangements, if you like. So therefore, obviously he has mounted pressure using the M23 to cause all sorts of problems and trouble in that eastern part of the Congo. And we know, and also the international community, which seems to be rallying behind Rwanda because all of them have an agenda that is basically leading them to want to cause trouble in the eastern part of the Congo with the aim of, if you like, looting and having access to all these precious minerals that the Congo has. And like many people say and continue to say, that obviously what is fueling this conflict is simply because the Congo is rich in minerals. But what one doesn't understand is the fact that why wouldn't all these international companies and countries, why don't they use the normal channel, that is to do business directly with the DRC government? So they would rather go to a neighboring country and use militia groups to cause a proxy war, and then in the process get to loot the country. And that is something that is not right. And a lot has been done in the past, but the situation at the moment is that the president, Felix Tshisekedi, is not backing down on his position that enough is enough, and he's not going to allow any of this to continue anymore. And this obviously has caused a lot of problem to Kagame and also to his allies, those who are currently working within him. And we know that there are a lot of international communities that are supporting what Kagame is currently doing. We know there are so many countries behind Kagame. You have the UK, you have France, and you have Canada, and you have the European Union as such. It's just such a, if you like, a conglomerate of all these countries that are really seeking to, make things worse in the DRC, and that is a terrible situation. Now I understand that it's governments don't have friends, but it's all about interests. But to some degree, at some level, we have to understand, if we have to put matters clearly on the table and need to understand basically what is happening. This is what we need to pen down: is the fact that the world, not the world, but some countries, and like I mentioned, most countries in Europe, the main tenants of these countries will be the UK. France and Belgium, and you have Canada and the US to a larger extent. All of them have in the past used Rwanda in order to carry their dirty deals in this country that has lost more than 10 million people in the process, which obviously nobody talks about because people think that it's not so important. But yes, it does mean a lot to Congolese when we see all that is unfolding in that country. And this is the reason why these current elections are so important, because what we see happen here is that the international community, the European Union, I mean, they also are supporting a candidate that they want to see come in, to win these elections, and that is Moise Katumbi. They want to see him at the to become a president of the DRC, because obviously for obvious reasons, like we all do know and understand, that obviously that will be an open door to them, that is the international community and these tech companies and these elites to come behind and have access to the precious minerals in the DRC, which is going to be a terrible situation for the inhabitants or the nationals of the DRC. So what we are seeing at the moment is that we have the Eastern African Community, which is a body or an organization that no, I think it within the last 2 years that the DRC actually became a member of. And the reason why the DRC became a member of this community is because the thinking or the logic was that obviously being part of it will give access to a lot of movement or business, if you like, opportunities for the DRC, which in a way would allow the economy to flourish and if you like, greater movements within that eastern part that will allow exchange to take place between the neighboring countries and the DRC. And also because of the Eastern African community, that the thinking was also that on the military side of things, they will also exercise greater influence on Rwanda and to some extent, Uganda, to cease the problems that they are causing in the eastern part of Congo. Now, what has transpired and what has been observed is the fact that doing so, even though it had some good things to it, but the stance has changed when the president, since Ruto is the new Kenyan president. His coming into power has somewhat shifted things a little bit because he has a different vision, and his way of looking at things is completely different to his predecessor. And we know that obviously he's not playing the role that his predecessor used to in relation to the Democratic Republic of Congo. He has a different agenda, which mostly aligns with Kagame and Uganda in a way. So what we are seeing here is the fact that obviously the DRC has has decided that they're not going to renew the mandate for the EAC to stay in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but now they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave the country. So what has happened and what we can see unfolding right now is the fact that they don't want to leave the country, but what they want to do is use some of these military personnel to cause trouble again in the DRC. The problem with these countries is once they come in, once they see what the DRC has in terms of minerals and opportunity for business and all of that, there's some reason they don't want to go. They want to stay and they want to become major players in selling and, if you like, just basically looting. I mean, this has been going on for years, and now we're seeing this happening with this Eastern African community. So, what is now clear is the fact that they've been asked to leave because that, if you like, mandate has not been renewed, but they are now playing such a dirty game with the M23. They are now wanting to. If you like, revamp or want to arm them again with their materials that they brought into the DRC in order to help the DRC. But now that is off the table. Now they're going to exchange hands. This armament that they brought is going to exchange arms with the rebel, with this faction M23, which is actually wanting to cause trouble there. And this situation is not a good one. So what we are hoping that will happen is that in the next 2 weeks or so, this situation will come to an end. But the way I look at it, the way I see that this situation will intensify. Now, if you can understand that there are elections that are taking place right now, and we don't need any of these situations to be going on right now. But as it stands, this is what it is. We can only hope and fight so that this EAC military forces would leave the DRC. So this is, I think, what I had in mind to bring to you in relation to what is happening in the eastern part of Congo. But I want to let you know that it is going to be a struggle because they wouldn't want to live because they've come into a part of the country. They've seen, look, a big cake, and they're saying to themselves, well, we're not going to live without obviously taking part of this cake. But the president is so determined that he's not going to allow that to happen. So they will have to live one way or another. And every Congolese, wherever we are, we need to stand up and really push them back and get them out of our country. And that's the important thing that needs to be done. So this was what I wanted to bring to you today, but I will bring some more so I can let you know what is happening in terms of the elections. Yeah, until the next video, take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now.